Hello. This is so strange. I feel like you actually just watched me typing away. I don't know how good this stream is. Today we're going to be talking all about money, finance, budgeting, money management, how to look after yourself financially at university, but also at sixth form. I feel like sixth form is the time when you really start actually being financially independent. Also, this live stream's a bit weird because I can see you all on my laptop, but I have to look at my iPhone. We'll see how this goes. I may do it differently next week. I'm instantly not actually liking it very much. So today we are talking about money. So please ask me questions about student finance or about budgeting, managing your money at university. As you can see, I've got a very cozy little setup going on that I had last week during my study with me. I've got my candles going. It smells incredible in here. You guys have no idea. I think it's this one, which is Apricot Blossom. It's from Next. It makes my room smell incredible. Not that you guys came here for candles, but that is what is going on here and it's amazing. I'm actually just going to share the link to this live stream with my Instagram just so that everyone can join from over there. If you are watching, hello, thank you so much for joining today. We're talking very much about money and how to manage your money as a student. It's a bit of an interesting topic, so I would really love you to include any questions that you have for me. I think we're going to talk about student finance and loans first. I want to actually talk about money a lot more on my channel. I think it's something that it defines a lot of my life, which feels like a very obvious thing to say, but I've always been very financially conscious of what I'm buying and where my money goes, and so I'd love to make more content on that for you guys because I feel like it's not necessarily something a lot of student YouTubers actually do cover. I think mostly because perhaps this is a broad statement, but I feel like a lot of successful study tubers come from very privileged backgrounds. Not that I'm saying I don't, because I definitely do, but you need a certain amount of financial stability to be able to buy cameras, to be able to sit for hours and study at your desk alone. Like, there aren't many study tubers really who've had part-time jobs other than internships that they've either got through their university or through their families. And I mean, I'm very much generalizing here, but I think it would be important for you guys to get some kind of sense of how to make money for yourself and how to actually be financially secure through university. I think it's a real myth that you have to be completely broke at university in order to survive. I think it's absolute crap, to be honest. I think there are so many ways to generate revenue and to, not even revenue, but generate an income, and there are so many places you can go, and that's what I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about today. Like I say, I'm just going to share this link with my Instagram just so that they can get involved, because that's always important. If you do have any, while I'm doing this, please write some questions in the chat to do with finance, any financial worries that you have to do with university. For example, worries about whether you're going to be able to afford to go to university because of your financial situation, your family's situation, anything like that, please leave it in the chat. I'll be with you in a sec. Right, okay, that's now done. So, first of all, let's talk about student finance at university. I feel like there'll be lots of people who you're not necessarily thinking about it yet because student finance is quite a way in the future. You don't have to apply for quite a long time, but you are applying for university, and that decision could very much be based on, can I afford to go? Is it actually viable for me? Now, the way that the student loans work is based on income, so it's not based on how much your family has. It doesn't matter how big your house is or how many Rolexes your family owns or how little your house is, how much debt you're in. None of this matters. The only thing that matters is what did your parents earn in the last year. Now obviously that fluctuates year to year, And the insinuation, I suppose, is that your parents are supposed to contribute part of that money to you and your life if you're going to university. On the other hand, the other insinuation is if you don't have parents that are willing to contribute and willing to be a part of your life and support your housing, or not even willing, like if they can't afford to, like I said, debt, for example, doesn't come into play. So your parents could earn thousands of pounds, your parents could earn enough that you get the absolute minimum loan and not actually be able to pass on any of that money to you in your own separate living situation because they have debts to pay. There are so many situations where it might not actually be viable for parents to contribute, and in that situation there are literally the only option given is that you go and get yourself a job and work your own way through uni. And this is very much encouraged nowadays by a lot of institutions. I would say it's still not made easy by the higher up institutions. So at UCL last year I did have a part-time job. I worked 2 days a week, long days as well, 9 till 6 on Wednesdays and Fridays, and this was really, really difficult. You know, there's no getting around that. And in fact, I think in first year it's kind of easy because there's not a lot of pressure on you to do well, but it does mean you have to miss assignments. And I would say at the moment it's kind of a shame that there's not much of an understanding that not everyone who's in university is going to be able to just get by, and there's other things that they're gonna have to do. I actually watched a really interesting video. It was a Martin Lewis thing talking about student finance. I think he was on This Morning or Good Morning Britain or whatever they call it, I don't know, but he was talking to Holly Willoughby, and he was basically saying that the government should, when we're given our student loans, they should write that parents are expected to make up the rest, because if it's based on our parents' income and we get less because a parent earns more, then the insinuation is that they should be contributing. I don't know what you think about that. Please let me know. I'd be very, very interested to see your thoughts. If you do get more than the minimum loan, I'm pretty sure in most places you'll be entitled to some kind of bursary. I know at UCL I get a small bursary which is very much dependent on my loan. There are lots of different scholarships for students from underprivileged backgrounds that are available. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I'm so sorry about that, but my streaming software cut out, so that didn't exactly work. Let's get in view. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, I'm back. So we were just talking about student finance. We were talking about Student Finance England and the loan and basically how it works. But I feel like most of you know about that and you're not asking me any questions, which makes me feel as if you kind of know what I'm talking about. So let's go on to how to find a part-time job. In fact, I'd like to tell you about my internship last year. If you are interested, if you have any questions about money or finance and you just joined this chat, please leave them in the comments. In fact, forget that. Please say hi if you're watching. We usually have loads of little conversations and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I'd love to get in touch with you guys. This is literally why I do this. I love talking to you all and getting to know you, and I really, really love it if you just said hi to me. It makes me feel like these are worth doing. This is what I do these little Q&A sort of things for. I did a live stream last week where I did a study with me, and that was really nice actually, just to have some company while I'm studying. Thanks for saying hi, I really appreciate it. So let's talk about my internship last year. My internship is one of the most valuable things I've gotten out of university so far, and I didn't even get out of university. I went on Indeed and got this internship on my own. Since then, I think I've learned a lot about getting internships and how to actually get involved in some kind of part-time job and finding value. One thing I will say is don't do internships for free. There are so many internships that are posted online suggesting that you do them for free, and this is a horrible idea. It's actually against the law in the UK to make people do work and not pay them for it. It sounds stupid, but an internship is not synonym for slave labour. You actually do have to be paid minimum wage to be an intern. In fact, I think there are different minimum wages for internship, and I think it is lower, but you do have to be paid something, which is something that actually not a lot of people know. Sorry if you're experiencing buffering. I'm really not very practiced at this yet. I need to actually have a go at working out what I'm doing on this. Where was I? We were talking about my internship. So I did an internship with a fashion company. It was amazing. I really loved working with the clothes, and it was a really valuable experience for me at the time. Oh, you can hear echo. That's very interesting. Thank you. Like I say, I'm really struggling with the stream today. I guess it's just one of those days. Wonder what I'm just gonna try and fix this. How is this? Has this fixed the problem? I think I've just worked out what the issue is. That's so funny. No? Okay. So I'm quickly gonna end the stream. No, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Oh, it's just not working at all. Okay, hang on. I'm just gonna work with the settings. Okay, right. I'm just going to work on this very quickly. See if this helps. Okay, I cannot do this while I'm streaming. Okay, it's working fine. Okay, thank you so much, guys. I'm so sorry for that little delay. Okay, let's get back to this. Let's get back to talking about my internship last year. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so how did I get this job? Let's start there. I was absolutely desperate to earn some money. The trouble is, last year my loan didn't actually cover any of my expenses. It literally covered my accommodation, and then that was it. For a little while my mum did send me some money every week, but this made me ridiculously uncomfortable, even though I guess technically she's done it my whole life. The whole point is to go out and be independent on my own and work out my own life and work out how to support myself. So using my mum's money every week really didn't vibe with me. I just didn't enjoy it. So I was like, right, I'm gonna have to go and earn myself some money. yeah, this was quite a difficult thing. I literally got rejected from so many places. I got rejected from kitchens, from Lidl's, from various. I literally applied for anything and everything with the skills that I had, and at the time I wasn't totally sure what these skills even were. I'd done one job as a bed maker for Center Parcs, which is exactly what it says on the tin. I made beds, and I did another job working as a kitchen assistant at my butcher's. I obviously had good grades, but I'm from the countryside and there isn't a lot of places to get part-time work, especially if you don't have a car like me, because I've never had a job and never earned the money to buy myself a car, and the cycle continues. So I really struggled to get work, and so when I had my CV and was applying for places to work at uni, I wasn't even sure what I was good at yet, and it's really hard to get across those sort of office skills because I really wanted a job. Oh, someone's calling me. I'm gonna see what this is. Hello? Hello, who is this? And what's that? I don't own a car, so no. What is it with scam calls? Oh my god. I'm getting a lot more of these recently. I think it's because every time I answer, it confirms that oh my god, everyone wants me. This live stream is going appallingly today. I am so sorry. Well, this is real life for you. I feel like I've given you no information today. Okay. We're talking about my internship. We're still on my internship. Oh my god. Okay. So, I realised I needed a job, and I went on Indeed, and I literally was just searching part-time jobs, and I found 2 jobs that I was interested in. The first one was the job that I got, which was at a company called Cubic. It was a fashion company, and the other one was a bookseller job at Harrods. I got interviews for both, and I was very much between them. The Harrods job, I wasn't sure about, because it was a weekend job. Other than that, it was an ideal job for me because it was sales, which is good skills. I mean, retail is valued by almost every industry you go into. There are so many important skills that you can learn in retail. But it was at the weekends, which made it really difficult for me. But it was like a dream job because any job at Harrods is really easy to work your way up. If you're in an industry, not an industry, but if you're in a company like that, it's so easy to make contacts and broaden your chances essentially. But the other job that I was going for at Cubic, I got an interview for, and I just really liked the interviewer, who ended up being my boss, and we really got along. And the idea of working with clothes all day really appealed to me, and it was really easy to fit around my studies because they wanted me 2 days a week, and I had 2 free days a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. I didn't have any studying on those days, so while that was the case, I didn't I was really interested in this particular job. And what happened was she, we emailed back and forth, and I went to an interview, and then I had a follow-up interview, and then I went. And it was such a good experience. I would say if you want an internship, the ways to go about it are to ask a university. Like, the university you're at will have some kind of careers service, without a doubt. We have UCL Careers, and they have job postings every week, and you should be able to get yourself onto some kind of mailing list. If you're at sixth form still, what you should really be doing is contacting there will be potentially there'll be some kind of careers service at your sixth form, and there'll be alumni as well. Using alumni is a great way to get contacts, to work your way into an industry that you're interested in, which is something that I've been doing recently. I've been doing so much networking with people from the TV industry, which is what I'd really love to go into. I'd really love to go into TV or radio. I'd love to do presenting, hence why I do this kind of thing, because I find it really, really fun. This is actually really hard today. The live streaming just is not working. Like, all I can see is a frozen picture of me, and that is how it has been for 10 minutes now, which is very, very stressful to me, but I'm gonna stop complaining about it because there's nothing I can do about it. And yeah, so I guess the tricky thing about finding internships is, even though they're a way to get experience, often you need experience to get in them. You have to show some kind of qualities or skills which makes you a viable candidate. So I could use my YouTube, for example, and my blogging to demonstrate literature skills and social media skills, because that's something that I happen to be interested in and good at. But this can apply for anything that you do. I think it's so important to broaden your scope at university and at school, and not just do your studies, because whilst for some reason schools make you believe that your A-levels and your grades and your GCSEs are literally the only thing that are going to matter, and it's so not true. Oh, I have a drink. I forgot about this. What's actually important is the things you do outside of school. In fact, most of the time these can end up being more important in the long run, especially if your grades aren't good enough to go to university, or if you're not enjoying school and so don't want to go to university. The stuff you do beyond your grades is what is going to hold you up in terms of getting hired. So that's kind of my general advice about my internship. Now I'm going to talk about budgeting at university. Guys, if you are watching, please leave me questions to do with finance, money management, how to basically look after yourself financially, because I know it's such a difficult thing to do, and it's such a complicated thing to work with and work around. So I'm sure there's loads of stuff I haven't even thought of that you guys could tell me about. So please tell me where you're at and what you're struggling with, because there's so much that I could probably impart my wisdom. So okay, where was I? I was about to start talking about budgeting at university. This is a complicated thing. Last year, like I say, I really struggled with budgeting, because they say you should take your loan and then minus all your necessary things from it, and then what you have left is what you have to spend. This did not apply to me in any way whatsoever, because once I paid for my accommodation, I think I had £40 left for the term. Now, call me a pessimist, but I don't think that's really going to work out. Can you do a video what I spend in a week? Yes, I would love to do a video about what I spend in a week. I think I did do one last year when I first started in my first year. In fact, soon I'm going to be doing a video which is the sort of opposite. I'm going to be doing my different revenues as a student and YouTuber, etc., which I think will be really, really, really fun. That's what I'm really hoping to do soon. But yeah, if you are interested, I will definitely do what I spend in a week. The answer is not a lot. I'm not a big spender. I, this year especially, don't have a lot of free money, although I do have more than last year. But I think it would be interesting to see where my money goes. I can tell you now that in an average week I spend between £10 and £20 on food, depending on what I need to buy. If it's, for example, a week where I've run out of meat, I've run out of butter, I've run out of cheese, like last week, it's going to be more on the £20-25 end. So, you know, there are certain things that are more expensive, so sometimes you have to do bigger shops. than others, which is feels like a kind of obvious thing to say. But sometimes, and I would say most of the time, my shops are between £10 and £15. So that's how much I spend on food. I give myself £200 a month budget to cover everything other than bills. Bills I do separately because bills includes rent, Wi-Fi, gas and electric, water, but we pay our water I think twice a year. Is it worth getting a student bank account? Absolutely. I've got two bank accounts for spending money. How can I tell if my turtle is gay? That is not an answer I have for you. But actually I was reading yesterday, I will come back to the question about the bank account and the question about what I spend in a week actually, but in terms of the turtle is gay thing, I was reading something yesterday because I've been doing research on museums, and actually, did you know that 8% of sheep participate in same-sex intercourse? Who knew? And also chickens, female chickens, if they're all kept in a coop together, if they're all kept together and there's no rooster, sometimes the dominant hen, the most dominant hen, which is usually the oldest hen, I feel like something just happened to the live stream, but usually the oldest hen, the most dominant hen, can then take the place of the cockerel, and they in fact over time, once they go into brooding, this then changes, but sometimes that sentence didn't come out right. So like before brooding, they'll take on the characteristics of the rooster, of the cockerel, and then sometimes when they should go into breeding, they actually change like phenotypically. So their bodies will change to be more like a cockerel. So those are some animal queer facts for you that I learned yesterday. So coming back to is it worth getting a student bank account? Yeah, so there are so many different types of student bank account. Most of the time student bank accounts allow you to have bigger overdrafts than other bank accounts, and the thing with this, it can go both ways. It's really good to have a bigger overdraft in case of emergencies. Sometimes a student loan will just not cover essentials like accommodation or your bills, and you just need a little bit extra for those emergency situations, and that's what a student bank account accounts for, and that's why you have it. But actually on top of this, for example, I haven't gone into my overdraft yet, minus like £5 here and there. But what it actually is it's really good for budgeting. So you can have your main bank account, which has any savings you have, or just like generally money that comes in from part-time jobs or where your student loan goes. And then every week, or I do it every month, but every week or every month you take a certain amount out that you've calculated that you need, plus a little bit for your own spending, and then you put it into your student bank account, and then you use only this card for buying things. And this means that actually you're much more in control of what you're spending, and obviously all of this should be cards where you have online capabilities as well, so that you can check it almost every single day. And this is what will help you control your money. It's so easy to lose control of your money when you are actually at university, especially in freshers. I've heard of people spending up to £700 on Freshers Week, which is absolutely ridiculous. Obviously most of that for most people goes on alcohol, but you know, it can really build up if you're not watching what you're doing. And if you have that one card that you always spend on, then it's much more easy to keep in one place. Something else I recommend is having a Monzo for the same reason. So I use my student bank account for that. But some people have a student bank account and a Monzo, and they keep all their money in their student account and then transfer some money onto their Monzo every week. If you have any kind of savings, I recommend getting proper savings accounts for those, because interest in bank accounts is a nightmare at the moment, and there are actually much better ways to save your money than in bank accounts, which I'm currently researching. So I will do a video on that once I have more information. Also, lots of student bank accounts have some really good benefits. For example, high interest. This year Santander had a free rail card with their account. Yeah, that's a really good point. High interest? No, not so much. I mean, it depends what we mean by high. Usually student bank accounts have quite low interest, actually, because it's not for savers. It's, students aren't typically savers, and it's not really going to work out. And it depends what we mean by high interest, possibly in comparison to other bank accounts, but in comparison to what interest you could get on bank accounts years ago, then not even close. It's going to get you £1 a month, if that. Like, we're talking, you'd have to be very lucky to get that. But that is true to do with benefits. I know Santander is really popular this year because it has that free rail card, which I so wish I'd known, because I have a rail card and it costs money to buy, and sometimes it can it builds up basically when you buy a rail card, because you have to get like 20%, not 20%, they have to spend like £20, I have to spend it anyway. I'm running on now about rail cards, but yeah, there are loads of other benefits as well. The main benefit that I would say you should look for is a big overdraft, because like I say, it doesn't really matter what the interest is, unless it's 10%, you're not going to get anything at all for your money, and that's not necessarily what you should look for in terms of perks. Things like the rail card are good, but also just being able to get up to like a high overdraft in case of emergencies, and there are loads of other things as well. Can you recommend a good mobile deal? I came to the UK only this academic year and I am looking for one. Yeah, absolutely. So what I would recommend is using a website like Uswitch. I mean, what do I even do for I don't even get my phone. My parents pay for my phone. That's actually one of the only like regular payments that they cover. But basically what I would say was call around, try and get the best deal. And so like there are various networks in the UK. Also, seriously, in the UK it can really vary. So for example, at home only Vodafone works in my village, but in the village next to me Vodafone doesn't work at all. So depending on where you are in the UK, you have to be really careful about which phone company you use, just to warn you. So try and ask around what networks actually work where you're going. But like we have Vodafone, EE, Orange. Does Orange still exist? Who knows? But there's BT and various others, and my main advice is just to call around. And often if you say to one company, hey look, I actually have this other company offering me this much for a similar price, then, and I'm considering them, can you do a lower price? Often they will, because that's what it gets them sales. And yeah, that's something you should definitely try. I think it's something a lot of students are afraid of. I think in this generation we're very afraid of picking up the phone. I know I am. It can be really intimidating, quite anxiety inducing, because we're not used to having to call someone without seeing their face. It's really weird to us. We're a generation that grew up with social media, with FaceTime even, so phones are so weird to us. But yeah, call up companies and get them to give you special deals. Also, the longer you're with a company, the more likely they are to give you deals. So if you've been with a company for years, ask them what kind of deals they do. Also, if you're coming to the UK, a lot of these brands, don't originate in the UK. They'll come from other places, so you don't necessarily have to switch accounts. With that said, don't just keep on with your old phone provider just because. Like, you can definitely find better, and in fact usually what you're originally paying won't actually be the best deal for you, which is when it gets really complicated. So that's when you should change. I think I just spilled juice down myself. Wow, I can't believe the internet just saw me being stupid. I'm a very clumsy person. But generally good with money. I learned that from my mother. Let's see what other questions we have. Perhaps you could do a what I eat in a week. I know it's not related to this video, but I think I'll answer it anyway. Yeah, I would love to do a what I eat in a week. I feel like no one's interested. Tell me if I'm wrong, but what I eat in a week is, I suppose, well, it's not repetitive. I actually really love cooking, but what I eat in a week is like 3 dinner meals and like 2 lunches and 1 breakfast. I have the same breakfast every day. So I mean, tell me what you think, but I can tell you now that I always have bagels for breakfast and fruit. I don't know, maybe it would be interesting, especially as I'm not eating sugar this month. I haven't eaten like sugary things in ages. There are certain things which still have sugar in that I'm not restricting, like bagels, for example, which I probably should now I think about it. But I haven't had sugary snacks in 27 days now, which is a big one for me. That's the longest in my life, I think, that I've not had some kind of sugary snack. So I'm doing well for myself. I've not cut out fat or anything, literally just sugar, because I saw something like no sugar November, and I thought, yeah, I can do that. And at first it was really hard, but I genuinely think I've changed my habits of snacking on sweet things, so I feel really proud of myself because I just don't get that need to have a custard cream anymore. I've got a feeling that may change over Christmas. Who is excited for Christmas? Normally I am really not an advocate for early celebrations of Christmas, but this year I think we're all so depressed, we need a reason to be happy again. So I think any celebrations of Christmas, I am here for it. I am all for it. What else do you guys want to know about? I love this debate that's going on about turtles and turtles being gay, and I think it's very interesting. I love conversations about queer animals. Keep it up. Anyway, let's talk. I was talking about budgeting, wasn't I? Let's leave that for a moment and let's talk about how to split bills. So this year I'm in a flat with 2 girls and we're all equally responsible for rent and Wi-Fi, electricity and gas. And so every month or so we will then have to split the bills. There are so many ways to do this, but one thing that I've really been trying is I have like it's a Google Slides sheet, and every month I put in what everyone owes me because I'm the one who organised it all and made sure we got the cheapest bills, etc. So I'm the one who organised it all, and so I organised the spreadsheet, and what I do is I have how much everything is, how much everyone has to pay, and then for every single thing that needs to be paid, and then the total of what I'm owed every month. And then next to this I have check boxes for each of us, so I tick off when I've paid it and then they tick off when they've paid me, so I can see if someone hasn't paid me because it's on the sheet, and we all are in control of our own thing. If someone doesn't tick the sheet, I'll assume they haven't paid me. So that's kind of how that works. So that's something that I've really worked on. Any other questions about money, finance, and how to manage your money as a student? I would love to know what you guys are worrying about or struggling with, because I know it's such a weird time as well financially, because it's really hard to get part-time jobs. How have you guys been finding remote jobs, if you've had any? I know that's really weird. When my internship went remote, we actually really lost touch and I lost a lot of work. I went from getting like £300 a month to getting 50, if that, and that was on a good day. So you know, I know that it really impacted me going into COVID. I lost a lot of regular income from my internship, and eventually I had to give it up because they then weren't paying me on time because the company itself was really struggling, and yeah, it was really complicated, and I'm sure that you guys are going through the same stuff. I feel like we've talked about a lot. If you have any other questions, please let me know, because I really love talking about finance. I actually really want to talk about finance on this channel. While we're all here, is there anything in general that you guys would like me to do videos on? We talked about what I spend in a week. Maybe we could do a what I earn in a week. I'd love to talk about how to make money as a student. I'm going to look into investing. I'm going to compare different student bank accounts, which relates to your question of, is it worth getting a bank account? I really want to explore what bank accounts there actually are for students, and what's the best one, what most people use, and debunking some myths about that. I'd love to do videos on how to save money, because I feel like a lot of students forget that you have the rest of your life as well as now to live. I feel like a lot of people feel like university is it. That is all the time you have to live your life and be a little bit wild, but it's so not the case. There are so many years in your 20s that you're going to need money for, and actually the money you get for your student loan, it doesn't just end when you end university. Like, you could hold on to a lot of that and go traveling with it, or it could really tide you over. So I think there are so many ways to save at university that I'd really love to do a video on. Hi Arthur, thank you for coming to my live stream. In fact, Arthur, what are your opinions on the question about the gay turtle? You should look up in the chat. What was I talking about? Yeah, I was talking about videos and planning. So basically I want to do lots more finance, money related videos, because money management is something that I'm really, really interested in. So if you could let me know what you're interested in sort of money wise, that would be really, really helpful to me. With that said, I think we're going to end the live stream now, because I'm really, really, really hungry, and I think I want to go and get myself a ready meal, or even order myself a pizza. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. What would you like on the live stream next week? Because next week I was thinking about doing like an evening routine live. Tell me what you think about that. I don't see that around a lot, but maybe that could be really helpful. And I think that'd be really fun to do like this, to have just an evening routine of me sitting here reading, cleaning my teeth, eating my food, or we could even do a cook with me. I could cook recipes with you guys, share some of my cooking with you. What do you think? Obviously I tried to study with me last week, but it wasn't actually that popular. So even though you guys said you wanted to study with me, it didn't take off that much. So with that in mind, I may do more study with me, but maybe earlier. I think that was the problem. A Friday night to do a study with me is a bad idea. I'd like to do more fun live streams as well. I'm just loving doing these. So let me know what kind of live streams you guys want to watch. If you have any ideas for me, because these Q&As are fun and everything, but I feel like they could get very repetitive. So it'd be nice to do something else with you guys, like tonight, where I talk about money and finance. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week. Make sure to watch my video on Tuesday, and I will see you next time.